Oh my God, Anthony, what happened to me?
I just saw Chris Green in the green room. He looks great.
Someone does.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality.
Anthony Melchiori, so great to see you, my friend. How are you today?
It's great to be seen. I'll tell you something. You look wonderful. Where are you?
Thanks. I'm in a back office somewhere at Showboat, Atlantic City. We had such a great weekend here, and it's so much fun to see this hotel coming back to life, really finding its footing, finding a new image, and all that. But of course, I was in town for the weekend to have a lot of fun. And
so, talk about coming back to life and finding its footing. How you doing?
I'm doing great, but I will share a little bit more how I'm doing. But let's first bring on Mr. Chris Green, CEO of Chesapeake Hospitality. Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I look like I'm doing better than you, Glenn.
It looks like your vacation has treated you well.
Yeah.
It did. I had a good vacation. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, it looks like you really needed that. You were pretty worn out. We're all pretty worn out. That's why I look like this today, because I was blowing off a lot of steam because I needed some time off too. So you feeling fresh? You ready to go?
I am. I'm ready to talk. What are we going to talk about today? The fish concert. We're going to talk about the fish concert, the MMA fights, the Super Snake.
All about this stuff. So first thing, before we get started, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in today to No Vacancy Live. We're having a great time over here. Tomorrow, there will be a show, but we actually pre-recorded it while we were at HOA, and that's with Talene Staub, the global head over at True by Hilton. Great story celebrating them hitting 200 hotels and going beyond. But the reason why I look today, Chris, is all your fault, or I should say the incredible team over here at the Showboat. Steve Sharkey, who runs this place, has done an incredible job. And I want to thank you, and I want to thank him and the entire team over here for an incredible weekend you gave me and my friends over here. Thank you so much, man.
I'm glad. Steve does a great job. He's got a great team up there. And, you know, that hotel has evolved. Its life has just really evolved over the past 6 years since we've been involved with it, from closed to now thriving and all kinds of activity and busy hotels.
It really is awesome. And being here on a weekend in the summer as this hotel has gotten its footing has been incredible. And Anthony, I will tell you, it really feels it's found its voice, right? They couldn't have a gaming license, so they need to figure out where to go next. And they're really turning it into more of a family-focused environment. But, Chris, the arcade is amazing. I love it all. The sports bar concept is great, still pulls in people of all ages. And for a weekend like this, the counter programming to make sure that everybody was spending money in this roof was under this roof was absolutely fantastic. So, Anthony, I got to tell you, this is a really happy story to see. So many thousands of people walking through here. So many rooms sold on Friday, Anthony, 500 check-ins.
Wow. So what was the catalyst for that? I know you don't have a license, but was it the owner? Was it you guys as management company? Was it a combination of, hey, we need to make this some kind of destination?
So a long time ago, when Tropicana sold the asset, they sold it to a college. And that college didn't work. They were going to make it like a one campus, big building, make it a campus. Didn't work. But in the deed, they restricted the deed, no gaming license in the future. So they didn't want to, because they owned other assets in Atlantic City, so they didn't want to have another competitor. So the building actually cannot have a gaming license. However, it can be a resort, and that was where the idea was hatched of the only family resort. I mean, it's got beautiful oceanfront property, access to everything. And that was where we started working on it. As you probably have seen in the news, we're working on a $100 million water park addition to the hotel here in the very near future.
So, Chris, right now there's a massive piece of land with a circus tent on it. There's a show here called Cirque Risque that looks like it's pretty popular. Is that where the water park area is going to go?
That is the area that it's going to be going.
Yeah. So incredible piece of land, Anthony.
When can it have a casino? I mean, is it indefinite or is it in 5 years, 10 years?
It's not in the near future, so it's a long range. It could have a contiguous. There's some structures that are contiguous, but that's the owner's prerogative. If they wanted to do a contiguous piece of property with a casino.
Well, I think you're past needing to worry about having a casino because this place has figured out its niche. It knows what it wants to be. And once that water park is up and going, it's going to be a full up resort where you're going to be getting premium dollars on this because of that water park and experience. That arcade already is fantastic. But Chris, just
Great.
seeing what's going on here this weekend is incredible because the last time I was here, you hadn't programmed it the way it was. The Bourbon Room, the former House of Blues, was just kind of sitting there yearning for attention. Now everything's back. Anthony, we saw an incredible concert there Saturday night as an after party. Chris mentioned they had the MMA here. You had a sneaker show in here on Sunday. All sorts of different things happening. All appealing.
What MMA organization was it? Bellator? Was it Pride? Who was it? Do you know?
I don't off the top of my head, Anthony. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But I know the crowd was pretty good. I got some pictures from the team. The crowd was pretty good. They said they had real strong attendance. You know, Glenn, when you've got 250,000 square feet of space that you've got to fill, I mean, doing different programming, what we found that's been really successful is, and it's kind of what you do in a small hotel,
right?
But this is just on a grander scale. You've got to have something for each of your potential market segments.
Right.
And so, you know, we fill some rooms with, you know, the brides-to-be party, the wedding parties. Then we fill some with the guys' weekend for the MMA. Then we have the concert goers. Then we have the arcades. And then we just have families going to the beach. I mean, that's how you have to fill 1,300 rooms. You've got to have a lot of different activities going on and draws.
It was the
PFL.
It was the PFL, the Professional Fighters League.
Okay, there you go. I'm not a big MMA guy, Anthony, so you would know better than me.
Well, yeah, I am. I'm obsessed with it. So yes,
well,
I
Anthony,
am.
I'm thinking next time they do one, we should come down here, do another live show from here and stuff like that.
Listen,
speaking of being in the ring, Anthony, it was really cool because here at the Lucky Dragon, they've got a boxing ring out as part of the sports bar, and we did our Friday night audit show from in the boxing ring, which was really a lot.
Do you have patrons boxing each other? Because then I'll show up.
I want to see you and Glenn go at it. So that's
every day right here on No Vacancy Live. What are you talking about?
There's not enough money in the world for me to ever put my hands on Glenn. I love Glenn.
Aw, that's nice because he's also sparing my feelings because it'll be one punch, I'm out.
Hey, like I tell anybody, it's like poker, man. Anybody can win. It depends on the cards. It depends on the punch.
Right. So, Chris, overall here in Atlantic City, it looks like business is doing great. And just one more comment on the no gaming license. The city probably had too many casino licenses to begin with. And if this resort, in my opinion, had gotten a gaming license, you may have gone down a path that wouldn't be as fruitful and successful as I see the path you're going down now, particularly with the number of families I saw here all this weekend. Fishhead crowd aside, this place was packed all weekend, and seeing the shore so lively this summer has been incredible. It must be paying great dividends for you over at the Showboat.
Yeah, we're doing great. We're going to have actually an all-time record year, well above 19. I mean,
yes,
it's good news. I mean, I can't say that's our bright spot. Really, the Showboat, Steve and his team are our bright spot as a company. They're going to be 30 to 35% up over 19, which is just unheard of. So.
Wow.
Wow. Now, when are the rooms going to be renovated?
I mean, it's a big place. So, you got to get a little bit of cash in the bank to do a renovation like that. So we're looking at, by the time the water park comes online, we'd expect the place to be fully renovated.
When will that be?
We're looking for a 2.5-year construction.
2.5 year. Wow. Okay, cool.
Wow. How many rooms is it?
1,300.
And you were sold out this weekend?
Do what?
You were sold out this weekend?
We stay sold out. I mean, we really, not Monday through Thursday, but on the weekends it sells out.
And so how are you doing? What are you doing with housekeeping? How's the staffing been?
We have a heavy contract component up there. We've been able to do it though. So, I mean, basically, Anthony, you know how it works. You have limited housekeeping on the weekend, and then you catch up all week for the next weekend.
Yes, sir. That's right. When people check out.
We're hearing that story a lot. First from you, Chris. You're the first person to share that information with us about the difficulty of getting rooms flipped. But back to Atlantic City real quick. You think family fun is going back to Atlantic City's pre-roots before the casinos is really the future of the city? Chris, how do you see it?
I mean, I think that the proof is in the pudding, right? It's kind of testing itself out. There's demand. Listen, where can you go that close to Philly and New York City and go to the beach with such a beautiful beach? The land, I remember standing on the 15th or 18th floor looking down at that beach when that hotel was closed, thinking this is just not right that this is happening here. There needs to be activity here. And it's proving its point that there is a need. Now, and I think that the benefit of being there and having a family resort is mom and dad and the kids could be at the water park, and then mom and dad can go to the casino across the street at nighttime. We don't have to serve, we don't have to serve that need.
It comes down to really a marketing plan from Atlantic City. Like New
Yeah.
York, I just sent Suzanne and Glenn, I think I sent it to you. There's a new New York City trailer about New York City and how special it is. It made me cry. And the reason I saw it because Brian Newman, who's a friend of mine, who's a famous saxophone player, and his wife, who's a famous burlesque dancer, is in the commercial, and it has every celebrity on Broadway. It was so emotional. I literally was crying. It was amazing. That's what Atlantic City needs to do. It needs to get back to its roots. It needs to get back to making people feel something about Atlantic City. Nobody cares about Atlantic City, and nobody feels anything about Atlantic City unless you've been going there for a long time. So we need to get that. If I was in charge of the marketing for Atlantic City, it's got to start with Chamber of Commerce. Got to start with the marketing, and then everybody's got to fall in line. It's got to show what you're doing. It's got to interview people on your team. It's got to show those kids playing. It's got to show the development. And because right now everybody thinks it's, two hotels down there, the Borgata and the Hard Rock, and everything else is just everything else, and everybody's kind of playing in separate corners. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Chris, please continue.
No, I agree. I mean, I agree with what Anthony's saying. So I think there's a huge future there. I mean, imagine now you're going to have the components. You're going to have the water park, and there's some other things on the horizon, mixed use potential down there, some more boardwalk front retail, boardwalk front food. I mean, there's just a lot of opportunity when you have that kind of building.
And that's what we really need. And it's finally time that Atlantic City is going. I hope that will realize their vision started in 1978 when they legalized casino gambling down here, and the resorts was the first casino open. Now, Anthony, we talked about this on a checking in early on in the series about the history of Atlantic City, but let me just give everybody a quick 30 seconds about what has happened here in Atlantic City. Atlantic City legalized gaming as the first real jurisdiction outside Las Vegas, as I said, in 1978. And what happened is they got addicted to easy gambling money. They started focusing on the buses to the casinos. They didn't really think about creating an overall multi-dimensional resort. But once Pennsylvania got gambling in 2003, 2004-ish, I think it siphoned off the business, totally made this market go, oh my God, what happened? It completely collapsed and it needed to refine itself. A number of the casinos closed, which I think was great to right-size this market. Now it seems to be doing well. And now other components, such as what you're doing, Chris, is going to really reinvent, revitalize, and I think we're going to see a great rebirth of the city, because everybody wants to do these different things, which we see happening in Las Vegas, for example. Right, Chris?
Correct. I mean, that's really what Las Vegas did. The casinos are just not casinos anymore. You've got shopping, you've got shows, you've got everything. And that's what Atlantic City really was, pretty much gambling. That's what it was. I mean, I used to go back. I lived up in Philly in like 87, and I used to drive down and gamble, and that was it. That's all you really had. I mean, so.
Yep. So 87 would put you at about that time where it's 9 p.m. and you're like, let's go to the casino.
Yeah.
Atlantic City is connected. I mean, Vegas is connected. Whether it be the people that work there, the people that live there, the people that go there. There's a vibrance, there's an energy, there's electricity in Vegas, kind of like New York. And in Atlantic City, you don't feel that. I mean, you go at 3 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning in Vegas, and it's on fire. You go to Atlantic City, and it's not the same vibe. And but it needs to come. I was being nice, I know, Chris. It's got to come up from its roots, and the roots it's got to be marketed properly, and then it's got to be like you guys are putting money there. That's got to be marketed, and I think a good marketing campaign can really set that thing back in place, because they do have great hotels there. Your hotel, what you're doing, the Borgata, the Hard Rock, the Ocean. I mean, there's some great hotels there. There's no reason it should be. Matter of fact, I'm going there on the 27th to see Brian Newman play. I'm
awesome.
Seeing him in Vegas, and I'm flying for one night. I'm just going to Vegas to see him,
Nice.
flying back and then driving to Atlantic City to see him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to it. It seems like MGM's kind of tied him up, and he's playing MGM. And but like people like I'd love to see a commercial with him playing, and it's just I really believe it's the internal mechanism of Atlantic City compared to Vegas. That's the problem. It's been the problem, and you know better than I do because you're down there. But just from what I see,
well, it's about really having a cohesive strategy for the city, and I mean, listen, Atlantic City is still very fragmented. Everybody in Vegas may have separate goals, but they have one common goal, lots of people through the Vegas airport, right?
100%.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, Chris, we've been talking a lot about Atlantic City, but while we have you on the show, I'd love to get your opinion on what you're seeing now across the country, what's happening. We've been lucky enough. Anthony and I were both out at LA at the Alice conference. We both attended a HOA in Dallas. And as we were going through these events, this Delta variant kept going and getting stronger and stronger. And I'm starting to see a cleaving between people that are still positive and people that are getting a little antsy. Where do you fall on all of this, and how are you thinking how it's going to affect the rest of your year?
So we've already seen some minor signs of weakening coming. So here's the thing: leisure, as you saw this weekend, is still full force, right? People are just tired. They want to get out. They want to go places they can be in the open air. We know
and nobody
that.
was concerned about the Delta variant as far as
No. But I will say that companies that control business travel are concerned at a global level. And so as we look into September, I mean, we're coming up to basically business travel season.
Yes.
Here in about 3 weeks, right after Labor Day. And we are seeing some generalized weakness into key downtown markets. So the markets that are hurt the worst already are still hurting. Now, I still think that people are going to continue to go, although leisure is going to back off, right? Even though schools didn't go all the way back. A lot of schools did go back in person with some sort of form of masking, et cetera. I think leisure is going to draw back. So when you pull that leisure out, right, and you don't have the backfill from business travel,
which
there's
is
going to be some weakness. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter where I fall on it. My son actually currently has COVID today.
Right.
So he caught it, and he's at home resting, and so. But that's it is happening. The Delta variant.
Did he have it before or no?
He did not have it before.
Okay. Yeah, I have a cousin who just got it, and he's unfortunately very ill because he has all kinds of underlying issues. He had a liver transplant, all kinds of stuff. He was just born kind of sickly, and then I just unfortunately heard of someone that was older that was vaccinated just passed away. That had COVID, who got COVID. So yeah, we're starting to see it. I tell you, I was in Georgia doing a speaking gig just a couple of days ago. And first of all, if you haven't been to the JW Savannah, it's beautiful.
The power plant? Yeah, that's awesome.
You've seen it? You've seen it?
I took my wife there for our anniversary.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And so and like you said, there was 2 rooftops and nobody there was worrying about the Delta variant. But it's starting to get a little concerning.
Yeah, well, Chris, I'll tell you how concerning it is. You know how much we're travel advocates over here. I was supposed to go do some live shows in Mexico later this week, but we decided as a family that maybe it's not the best option to be on the other side of the border right now with some of these things happening. So it's really unfortunate. I feel really terrible about it, but I do think for our family it was the right thing to do. That being said, we are shifting gears, and now we're going to do a road trip. So we are going to keep the money here. We are going to support hotels here in the United States, and we're just figuring out what we want to do next week.
I couldn't possibly think of a more. I was involved in some difficult discussions around an upcoming meeting that required travel. Not a big conference, just a meeting. And it was very difficult and fragmented because as a leader, right, a travel industry leader, what do we want to say? It's get out and travel. But also, we also have to be thoughtful about who else are we putting in jeopardy? Where are we traveling from? I mean, we have to. And this is things that I never thought I'd have to consider in my entire life about running a hotel company. So it's a really challenging time. And so when I extrapolate what I'm thinking about as a mid-sized company, and I go to whatever, Johnson & Johnson or, whoever, Pfizer, a big pharma company, are they going to put their sales reps on the road after September 4th? Are they going to? My gut is they're going to say only necessary mandatory travel. Right. Well, I need full-blown travel to come back.
Right.
Are you going to start seeing companies mandate the vaccine?
Yeah, we just saw it. I mean, we just saw several. We just saw Google mandated it.
I'm talking about hotel companies.
Marriott stopped short of fully mandating it, but there's significant requirements if you don't get it. I mean, you're going to be masked until sometime in the future. You're going to have to submit to random tests, those kind of things. So I think it's going to become more and more prevalent that they're going to.
So, as a management company, would you have to stay within the brand standard, or could you make it mandated through your management company?
Well, that's like Marriott HQ. So it's not the hotels yet, but I mean, I don't know. It's again, who's going to break the seal first? Once somebody breaks the seal, then we're all going to have to really think about it. I don't know. I really don't know. I live in Jacksonville, Florida, right? So we're probably one of the bigger anti-masker, anti-vaccine areas. I mean, we're very, conservative leading county. I've been vaccinated because I'm in the travel industry and I'm trying to support our business, and I believe it's the right thing to do for others when you put others first. So, but we're having a lot of spikes for Delta 19 or the Delta variant because we've had a lot of unvaccinated people. Right. So to me, that I'm not making an argument for or against, but to me, logically, that just says, what are we doing? We're probably going to need to get vaccinated.
Yep.
You're going to have to do it. So let's put the political stuff down and take care of ourselves and other people.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. It's become a political statement. Then I had a conversation last night. We had a barbecue, and there were a couple people there, and I literally I had to go in the garage. I was just like, this doesn't have a color on it, man. This isn't red or blue. This is like, okay. And so I have a very good friend of mine that will not get vaccinated. His family's not vaccinated. And I can just agree to disagree. And I really don't understand why, but I'm good. It's because he doesn't give me any ridiculous reason. His reasoning is makes sense to him and is reasonable if you're in his position. But these ridiculous claims is what I just can't tolerate. But anyway,
I feel much better in my life now that Bill Gates is able to track me through the microchips in my blood that I got.
Yeah.
So,
they're not tracking you on your iPhone?
Yeah, but
they're already doing that. Yes.
Exactly. And that's attached to me anyway. So Suzanne points out that Union Square Restaurant Group has mandated vaccines.
Yes,
and,
September.
Now, our incoming New York governor, because our soon-to-be former governor resigned, she's saying all options are on the table, and she would consider that. So it's going to be really interesting.
Well, New York City, you can't go to a restaurant or a gym in New York City without you showing your vaccine card.
Right, for sure. And as we all know, I was at these Fish concerts this weekend. Starting with the next show on the tour, now you have to provide proof of vaccinations or a negative test taken within 48 hours in order to get in. So I think that private businesses and organizations are going to be more and more saying, if you want to do stuff with us, then you're going to have this.
Somebody said, I think it was an actor I can't remember his name, but anyway, he's a famous actor. He's been in a lot of famous movies and big tall guy. And he's coming to Florida, Orlando. And he got on the Instagram this morning, I sound old. He got on Instagram this morning, or TikTok, and he said, I believe in freedom. I believe in your right to be a free country. He said, in order to be a free country, families got to make money, businesses got to stay open. And my friends are telling me I should not go to this signing event in Orlando. And I really, really want to go, so I'm going. Unfortunately, me and everyone in my line have to have their mask on. I'm going to mandate that you have your mask on. Now, if everybody was vaccinated, I wouldn't mandate that. So yes, I believe in freedom. I believe in freedom of choice. But he also said, if you want to keep this country going, you got to keep businesses open, and we have to be able to provide for our families. And I thought that was the greatest statement I've heard throughout this whole pandemic.
Chris?
I mean, I'm at a loss. I think we have to do. I was raised in conservative values family, but I was also raised to care for others. And so I'm putting my personal.
I would argue that's the number one conservative value, back before everything got politicized. So
Well, interesting. I don't know if I shared this with you. Somebody really smart said to me, the only difference between conservative and progressive are conservatives look to the past and progressives look to the future. And so that's fine. That's where you get your information on how you make your decisions. But if you look at the value of putting others first, which we're in the hospitality industry, service to others. I mean, listen, I may or may not agree, but serving my team and my guests, I've got to put them first and not put them at risk. So
listen, we'll get off this in a second. If you have hair lice, hair lice can't kill you. But if hair lice, if you have it in school, you go home. You're not allowed to come to school with hair lice. Okay. And you have to have somebody, you have to basically do the right thing. So it's all about, we're all sharing the same planet. We're all sharing the same space. We're all sharing the same, the same air. We've got to, like you said, care for others. So I don't have to agree with my friend, but he's got to take, when he goes to church or he goes out, he's got to wear a mask, or he's an older gentleman, he'll get sick. But I'm not going to tell him he's got to get a vaccine or yell at him. It just, if you're not coming to my house, because I'm afraid not for me, but I'm afraid for you, because I may be carrying it. I've been traveling a lot. I was up at the rooftop in Georgia. I was having fun. I was around a lot of people. I was hugging a lot of people. I was kissing a lot of people. I may have it. I don't know if I have it, but you know what? Everybody around me is vaccinated.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hey, Glenn, another thing I was thinking you asked me how I thought things were going. Well, one of the things that we hoped was when the supplemental unemployment benefits burned off on the labor side, right, that we'd start seeing, more aggressive return to work. And frankly, we have not seen that. So a couple states where I do business, the unemployment, the supplementals burned off, and we have not seen all of a sudden the applicant pool get huge.
Well, that continues to tell me that a lot of hoteliers out there, and this is frustrating, have gotten stuck on the notion that people simply don't want to work. That's not going to solve the problem of filling these positions out there. I think what the industry is failing to recognize that over this last year and a half, a lot of people have reevaluated their lives and how they want to spend their lives and what they want to be doing for the money that they're earning. So I think that's the biggest issue. And I think the challenge for us as a hospitality industry going forward, Chris, is we need to double down on sharing why this is an incredible business, what the opportunities are, and show that you go to the industry, and you work for that giant, that giant internet company that you get packages from all the time. That's not really going to get you advanced in your life. It might get you a couple of dollars an hour more, but it's not going to help you overall.
Me and my friend Suzanne are working on a new keynote for me. Over the weekend, I sent her some stuff that I'm reading, and I want to focus on employee retention and how you do that. So I'm reading this magazine. Let me throw some numbers at you, okay? 2 points. I don't remember most of the numbers, so some of them will be relevant, some of them won't. 2.7% of Americans who quit their jobs in April, the highest level since at least 2000. 41% of the global workforce are likely to consider leaving their job in the next 12 months, according to April survey. 5.8% unemployment rate in May, the lowest since before the pandemic. $86,000 minimum average compensation a worker with a college degree requires, $5,000 higher than March. 20% share of the U.S. workforce actively engaged in a job search. 20% of the workforce is actively engaged. 9.3 million number of jobs opening in this spring. 2.5 million number of LinkedIn users who expressly say open to work on their profile.
Wow.
457% annual percent increase of paid job postings on LinkedIn that offer remote work. 457% increase so we need to really think about how we're bringing people back. I just had this conversation with somebody. You're going to have to be flexible with people. It's mandatory. And you may have a corporate structure, whoever they are, you are, that you have to be in the office. You got to rethink that. You've really got to rethink that. You've really, really got to be flexible, because people are leaving. And we talked about this on the show, Glenn, that when these benefits ran out, people aren't going to fly back. We looked at a lot of numbers. We knew that wouldn't happen. We knew that wasn't the problem. The problem is the fundamental, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, and I'm going to get flack from it, but I don't think the majority of companies treated their line employees well for the last 30 or 40 or 50 years. They've forced them to make $7, $8, $9, $10 an hour, not treated them with a lot of respect, haven't given them health benefits, and it's all under the guise. And again, you don't know my politics, so nobody judge me on what you think my politics are. But we needed to be taking care of people 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. We're having an argument in this in this country to have just bare minimum wage, and people don't want people to have a living wage. So now it's coming back, to us, and it's in your front yard. And if you're not paying attention to it, you're screwed. Period. End of story.
Yep.
I don't disagree, Anthony. I think part of it was ignorance, right? Because we always did what we always did. We had, this is how much this job paid, and this is what we could pay, and we just kind of ignored. And demand was so good, and we kept building hotels. There was all kinds of demand and growth, and people were growing at such a rate that it seemed good. But I think this has shined a bright light on our deficiencies, and really the gap between what we thought was fair and what's right was wider than I believe we understood. And so it's created a real delta and a real problem for us. And I think it's even, Glenn, it's even more than messaging. I go to the fact of, okay, we have a 24/7, 365 business. There aren't many of those. There's some, I don't know, a good amount, but not many, of course, it's not a corporate job. So today's worker that has the needs flexibility of childcare, or they want to go to college part-time or whatever, our schedules are difficult. We're going to have to get really good at mixing schedules, and it's going to be a really complex path forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one that we need to discuss. And I would encourage hotel owners out there that are suffering from some of these problems, go on to some of these Facebook groups like Hospitality Family and others. See what your employees really think about you and what they're saying, because they've got a lot of negative things overall to say about a lot of bosses out there.
There's two schools of thought, right? I was that person that I don't care. I want to give you a decent wage and try to get you health benefits. And I'm going to work you to the bone, and you're going to work your butt off. You're going to work 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't care, because your job is to get yourself promoted, to make a lot of money, to take Chris Green's job. That's my mentality. But there has always been a minimum of making sure people are taken care of. I always say it. If people are worrying about their bills, they're not going to be worrying about me and my goals for our hotel and our goals for our hotel. So you got to take care of people. And, and also you got to work hard. So if you're making $15, $16, $17 an hour to work at Dunkin' Donuts, and you're happy with that, and you work for me, you're not going to have a job, because not so much I'm going to demand so much of $15. Right. I'm demanding at $7. I'm just demanding. And I think that there's two things that have to happen. One, people have got to have a basic, fair living wage and healthcare. And then we got to get rid of really bad managers that don't know how to hold people accountable. Because there's two things here, okay? Because I am all for that young manager that I saw in Georgia, who apparently I was mentoring, I didn't even know it, through text messaging. And she got up and she said, you helped me stay on the path. And now she's assistant food and beverage manager for that beautiful hotel. And she goes, you helped me stay on the path to stay in this industry. And that made my heart feel good. But again, and I had my old assistant happened to be in the audience. And I said, you were there at the Algonquin the first year? She goes, yeah. I go, how'd you survive? She goes, I was the only one that survived. I go, you like me? She goes, yeah, and I was the only one. So I am not the easiest person to work for. So I am not, it's not mutually exclusive. Performing really high standards, even if you think you're underpaid, if you're making $15, $16 an hour for Dunkin' Donuts and you think you're underpaid, then you're probably not going to be working hard. So go do something else. But that to me is really, I'm going to harp on this a lot in the next year. That to me is the problem. We have mid-level managers, and we talked about this before, Chris, that are not trained or not well equipped to take those young people and mentor them. And that is a failure on how quickly we've grown as an industry, how quickly we focused on profits, and how quickly we focused on growing other hotels and putting money in the bank for a rainy day, and not really focusing and putting money into training, into mentorship, and really caring and putting people in positions that were ready for positions, not just because it was a warm body. I'm off my soapbox for today. You're welcome.
That was great.
Well, if you look at like the squeeze on rooms profit from 2009 till now, rooms profits used to be a lot of times 70 was a good threshold, 70% rooms profit, right? But now we've pushed, depending on ADR, location, we've pushed into the low 80s. Well, where'd that money come from? It came from downward wage pressure, increasing rate, and then because the brands had added different things throughout, right? So you had to find it somewhere. I'm saying the training dollars went away. like levels of staff went away. Where you used to have an assistant rooms director, there's no more. We really squeezed it down to, frankly, the point is that Anthony's making. We've done a terrible job of training, but it's because there's nobody to train them, right? The GM is now basically the acting assistant GM because there's not one. And then you've got no assistants in the departments. We eliminated all those after 09 and 01. So in leaning out, and then what happened is the debt financiers came in and they want certain debt service coverage ratios. And to make those, you've got to drive a certain level of GOP at the hotel, which allows you to, doesn't allow you to put the staffing you need to build even the business further forward. It's really a big, complex math problem, and we've all created it ourselves.
Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, we could probably talk around this issue over and over and over again. I know we're going to try to keep this show short today.
But you want to go to bed right now and take a nap.
I got to leave. I wish I could, but I don't want to take any more of your hospitality. I got to get back on the road and head back to New York after.
There's no more fish concerts. You're done?
We just 3 on this one. But don't worry. I got the 4 coming up.
And there's no more show tomorrow? We have it pre-recorded. There's no show?
There's no show because the 3 shows here.
How about Wednesday? Is there a show?
I'm sure there is. I don't know what city.
Okay. But what I should tell you, my friend, is Wednesday I'm bringing my daughter to college, so I can't be on the show Wednesday.
Oh, okay. There is a show on Wednesday, and I'm sorry you're not going to be there because on Wednesday is going to be our 500th episode spectacular. So that's going to be.
We should maybe not have a show and then have it on Thursday.
I don't know. Let's talk about it.
You can't have a 500th show without me.
No, we can't. Well, you're just delivering this information to me now.
live and on the show.
Yeah. All right. This is episode 499. So very exciting. So stick with us.
I made it.
I know. We'll see what happens. All right. So we got blue collar.
So I asked Suzanne, the blue collar wage growth. I asked because if you look at this, right, look at where the wage growth has gone. Now, if you take this, it's gone nowhere. If you take this and you put in what the price of goods are from the same year, 1965 or even 1981 as a benchmark, and you look at that, it's insane. Think of a car in 1981. What did a brand new car go for? $3,000, $5,000, $7,000?
$5,000 maybe.
Okay, what's a brand new car? Cheapest car today, $25,000?
Probably.
Right. But it's all because people can get leases, so they're living over their means, and they're driving around with $50,000 cars. Anyway, so that's the problem. So you go back to take that off now. Colleen says that somebody just posted, or she saw in the news that 3 million people just signed a petition for the extension of the federal government unemployment benefits. I don't agree with that. There's so many jobs. I agreed with it 6 months ago. I don't agree with it right now. There's too many jobs, and everybody that wants a job can have a job. Now, if there's healthcare issues and there's nursing issues, daycare issues, that's one thing, and that's got to be addressed by the company that they're going to work for. And if you search long enough and you work hard enough to find a job, you'll find a company that has benefits that will help you. And so you can't now extend those benefits again because that will destroy business, in my opinion.
Yep. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We have to get people back to work. It's critical that happens, right? I don't see any way around it. So it's just
and again, they're making it when I was for the extension, people put me in one category. Now I'm not for the extension.
Right.
People put me in another category, and nobody knows my politics. And it has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with common sense. Yep. I don't live my life based on my politics. I don't really have that much politics. I just want a good, fair country that we all get along and take care of each other. And it's absolutely insane what's happening. But at the end of the day, we have a lot of jobs out there. Go find yourself one. Yep.
Love it. Absolutely. Chris, any final thoughts, sir?
See this picture over my shoulder? You can barely see it. Oh, where it is. It's I'll give a salute to rest in peace, Coach Bobby Bowden. I'm a Seminole fan and legend in the college football game, passed away. That picture my dad got me about 25 years ago says, "Do your best, Chris," from Bobby Bowden. So I love it. It's one of my favorite things.
That's really
and that's really all we can do, right? Is our best. I can't do your best. I can only do my best.
No.
Yep. Well,
Well, it's always a
Maybe
pleasure,
using
my
Chris's
friend.
best, you'd be successful at something. You know?
I'm still picturing Anthony with hair lice, so it's you know.
I know, right?
So, Chris, where'd you go on vacation?
We went out to the West Coast. We took a road trip from San Fran to Seattle with myself, my wife, and 2 daughters, and we stayed about 9 different places and saw things I had never seen before: the redwoods, the Oregon coast. We saw a whale. I asked my 9-year-old daughter, I said, honey, did you have a good vacation? She said, Dad, I saw a whale. That was it.
I'm good.
Unfortunately, they were at a casino and they saw a big player, not a.
No. It was good.
But how old's your son?
He's 22.
Well, I hope he feels better.
Thank you for that.
Feeling okay? Is he?
Yeah, he's doing medium. You know, he's sick, but he's not bad sick. So thank you for asking. And
Well,
I'll take all the well wishes we can. So.
Yeah, for sure. What a stinky situation. Well, Chris, one more time, thank you so much for your incredible hospitality this weekend and the entire
You're welcome.
Here. Steve Sharkey is absolutely incredible. Watching him run around trying to take care of all of this, all the stuff that he had to because it was so busy here. Absolutely amazing. So thank you again.
Yeah, my pleasure. Talk to you guys soon.
Take care. Anthony, any final thoughts?
no, sir. I want to get you on the road, my friend.
Yeah. So you got this video that you wanted to do, or do you want to just?
Well, let's at the end of the show when we sign off.
Yep.
There's a new ad for New York, and I just like to play it for 2 minutes. You can leave, and then Suzanne can shut it off in 2 minutes.
I think we'll do that. That sounds like a great idea because I'm already hogging up the room. I got my friends upstairs still.
Yeah, you don't have to stay. So at the end, you just play it, and we don't have to be on it. And then
all right. So everybody, remember tomorrow we got a special show with the global head of True. We pre-recorded that last week, so you won't be able to make comments that we'll respond to. Please watch it. Great interview. And then later this week we'll do our 500th episode spectacular, whenever that might be. Anthony, any final thoughts?
No, sir.
All right, so Suzanne, do you have the video ready to go?
Well, let's do our regular tag out, and then
I know. I just want to make sure it's ready to go, so there's nothing weird before we do that. All right, we'll get that playing in just a second, Suzanne. But before that, remember
take it off the screen now, Suzanne.
Yep, remember to download the audio version of our podcast. Find it on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, wherever you get your shows. Well, that's where this show is. Either follow the No Vacancy live feed or checking in with Anthony and Glenn if you want to go classic over there. He, of course, is Anthony Hotels. I am at Traveling Glenn. So I guess we'll just say, hey, you got one life, so blaze on, and
be kind to yourself.
And then let's run this video. We'll see you guys soon.